Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 9th chapter, text number 35. In the matter of appearance of demon Mritasura. Atha. It is in a prose form, we'll just chant like that. Atha Tatra Bhavan Kim Devadattavad Iha Guna Visargapatitaha Parathantrena Swakrita Kushala Akushalam Phalam Upadadhati Ausvid Atmarama Upasama Shilaha Sam Anjasa Darshana Udasta Iti A Vava Na Vidamaha. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. These are our inquiries. The ordinary conditioned soul is subject to the material laws and thus receives the fruits of his action. Does your Lordship, like an ordinary human being, exist within this material world in a body produced by material modes? Do you enjoy or suffer the good or bad results of action under the influence of time, past work, and so forth? Or, on the contrary, you are present here only as a neutral witness who is self-sufficient, free from all material desires, and always full of spiritual potency? We suddenly cannot understand your position. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he descends to this material world for two purposes, namely paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkatam, to relieve the devotees and kill demons or non-devotees. These two kinds of action are the same for the absolute truth. When the Lord comes to punish the demons, he bestows his favor upon them. And similarly, when he delivers his devotee, he gives them relief. He also bestows his favor. Thus, the Lord bestows his favor equally upon the conditioned souls. When the conditioned soul gives relief to others, he acts piously. And when he gives trouble to others, he acts impiously. But the Lord is neither pious nor impious. He is always full in his spiritual potency, by which he shows equal mercy to the punishable and the protectable. The Lord is apapa viddham. He is never contaminated by the reaction of so-called sinful activities. When Krishna was present on this earth, he killed many inimical non-devotees, but they also received sarupya. In other words, they returned to their original spiritual bodies. One who does not know the Lord's position says that God is unkind to him but merciful to others. Actually, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Samam sarva bhuteshu name deshya astina priyaha. I am equal to everyone. No one is my enemy and no one is my friend. But he also says, E bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapi aham. If one becomes my devotee and fully surrenders unto me, I give him special attention. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purport. So you have been reading in this chapter the appearance of demon Vritasura. how when demon Vritrasura appeared, all the devatas, they were also very scared, they were very afraid of him. And we read in the previous verse, all the universe was disturbed. At that time, the devatas, they were offering prayers to the Supreme Lord, and they were offering obeisances, all these things. And last verse also is what we read. Actually, today's verse is in continuation of that. Because Lord is fully transcendental. We cannot know on our own. So we have to know from Lord only. So in last verse, 34th verse, last week we read, it is mentioned, O Lord, you need no support. And although you have no material body. So here also, today also, the words are repeated here. You have no material body. You do not need cooperation from us. Since you are the cause of cosmic manifestation and you supply its material ingredient without being transformed. You create, maintain, and annihilate this cosmic manifestation by yourself. Nevertheless, although you appear engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all material activities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. So Lord, when He appeared 5,000 years before, He was also looking like an ordinary person. But He is not an ordinary person, we understand from the Bhagavatam. So these devatas, they are offering this prayer. And today, if you see today's translation also, Prabhupada begins, these are our inquiries. The ordinary conditioned soul is subject to material laws, and thus he receives the fruits of his action. Does your Lordship, like an ordinary human being, exist within this material world in a body produced by the material modes? Do you enjoy or suffer the good or bad result under the influence of time, past work, and so forth? Or, on the contrary, you are present here only as a neutral witness who is self-sufficient, free from all material desires, and always full of spiritual potency? We certainly cannot understand your actual position. So, whole of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is speaking, in the Bhagavatam, again and again these things are brought out because we are in the middle of the 6th canto. Because to understand Krishna in truth, about Krishna's Srila, which is covered in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we should thoroughly understand who Krishna is. Generally people misunderstand. We are all born, most of us are born in a Hindu family. We have some understanding, which we learned from our fathers. We read something, we are chanting some slokas. But we never got into the details. But when we read Prabhupada's books, like yesterday also we heard, see 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, very clearly Krishna says his own position. How he is transcendental, how we are all conditioned soul. We cannot on our own, we cannot speculate and try to understand the Supreme Personality of God, who is Adokshaja. So again and again these principles are brought out. So Krishna is not an ordinary person. Though he came, he performed his pastime, he performed, some wonderful pastimes, some extraordinary pastime people may say. So that is not the truth actually. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He came for a purpose. That is also described in the Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada begins today's purport also with that. So Krishna's birth and our birth is not the same. First thing we have to understand this. That's why Prabhupada began today's purport. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says he descended to this material world for two purposes. In the 4th chapter, 8th verse. Before that itself, Krishna in the 6th verse, he says, Ajopi san avayatma bhutanam ishvaro san prakritim swamadisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. So he descends, he comes to this material world out of his own sweet free will. He is not forced to take birth like all of us. We are forced to take birth according to our karma. So Prabhupada in the 4.6 it translates, although I am unborn, ajaha, Krishna is unborn. But we see Krishna appeared 5,000 years before in Vrindavan, Mathura, he performed lot of pastime. How we understand? Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So Krishna, when he comes, we all know in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Krishna, when he appeared also, he didn't appear as an ordinary person. He appeared in forearm. And Devaki and Vasudeva, Devaki was wonderstruck, what is this? Then Krishna again transformed himself into two-handed form. So like that we have to understand. And in my original transcendental form, that's why it is said, Prakriti Swam Adhisthaya, his own Prakriti, transcendental form, and Krishna chooses to be, he appears in a devotee's family because of their intense prayers and intense desire to have Lord as their son. So it's not an ordinary thing. We understand from the Bhagavatam how Devaki and Vasudeva, they performed a lot of austerities in 3 lives, in the earlier lives also. And here Krishna appears. So it's not a sentimental understanding that we all, few bunch of people, few devotees, we accept Krishna as the Supreme. It's all based on the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So we have to understand Krishna in truth. Tattvataha, Prabhupada many times, many places he mentioned, the Bhagavad Gita, this word is brought out again and again to understand Krishna in truth. That means we have to understand ourselves who we are, who is God, what is his position, what is our position. All these things are brought out in the Bhagavad Gita. So here in the purport, Prabhupada says that these two kinds of action are the same for the absolute truth. So when Krishna comes, basically he comes to give protection to his devotee or confidence to his devotees. And simultaneously he kills the non-devotee demons. But the result of both the things, the person who is killed by Krishna or the person who is protected by Krishna, both attain the highest. So we know, that's why Bhagavatam also mentioned about what is that 3-month-old baby, demon, Putana. When Krishna killed Putana, Putana came as a beautiful woman. She wanted to kill Krishna. We know it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that she offered her breast milk to Krishna. Krishna drank that milk and sucked her life air also. So there Bhagavatam explains, see, Krishna is so kind. Somebody goes to Krishna to kill him, but she was elevated as mother in the spiritual world. So that is the kindness of the Supreme Lord. So somehow or other, if we come in touch with God, Krishna, actually that is our perfection. So that is the meaning of absolute truth. For him there is no, that's why Prabhupada then he writes, so he bestows his favor upon them. And similarly when he delivers the devotees and gives relief, he also bestows his favor. The Lord bestows his favor equally upon the conditioned soul. He is always full in his spiritual potency, by which he shows equal mercy to the punishable and the protectable. So Krishna is all merciful, all kind, and he is waiting for us when we are going to turn towards him. And then Prabhupada goes on to say in the purport that actually the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name deshastana priya. Because Lord is equal, Lord is neutral. He is not partial to somebody, He is not envious of somebody. No, actually it is our own doing. What we are all in different position. Everybody is in this world, they are all taking different form, born in different species. So God, Krishna says, I am Bija Pradapita. I am the seed king father. So why? Because we have different forms. Because you choose that form. It's not that Krishna is kind on somebody. He is unkind to somebody. No, it's not like that. God is equal. That's why this verse says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu, all living entity. That is the meaning of God. He can't be partial to somebody. Correct? The translation there also. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. Because Samoham sarva name dveshya. He is not envious of anybody. And he is not partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion. So this is the point. Prabhupada writes in the purport also. Whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So this is reciprocal actually. So we go towards Krishna. Krishna is also coming towards us. Whatever little service we do in this devotional service in our Bhakti Marg is never lost. And Krishna is always eagerly waiting for us because we all turned away from Him. We all forgotten Krishna. That's why we are in the material world. Otherwise we should be with Him in the spiritual world. Constantly engage in His service only. So, but this beauty of this free will, what Krishna has given us, all of us have little free will, freedom. So when we misuse this freedom, we come into this material world according to our desire, according to our past karma. So Krishna cannot be held responsible. So Prabhupada in the purport also in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this verse he says, just like a person may be charitably disposed. Correct, sometimes we go, a lot of people are giving charity. But when it comes to his own family members, he'll show more of charity nature. So we can't say, Arey Baba, you're giving more to your, generally all this top rich guys and all, before they pass away, they write will and all, correct? They write 25% in the name of son, 25% name of daughter, all these things, they make this will ready. So we can't say, oh, you're giving so much to them, you're giving little. No, because, why? Because they are from the father and they are in relation. They are all obedient sons and daughters. So similarly, if we become a servant of Lord, if we try to render service to Krishna, Krishna will also reciprocate to us. This is the principle Krishna also says in the 4th chapter, Etha ma prapadyante tam satai bhajamiyam. As we take step, as we surrender to Krishna, He is going to reciprocate accordingly. So it is up to us. So, like that Prabhupada gives many examples. Just like you go to you want to buy any electronic gadget. Today this all big sale and things are happening, correct? So, there you pay, you have some budget, you go and pay that price, you will get a material of that, whatever fits in that budget. So, somebody may pay more, he will get superior quality of the gadget, say a mobile. There are maybe 10,000 worth of mobile, 20,000, 40,000, like that it goes on. So, as much as you pay, accordingly you get a quality of the material products. So, say Krishna is also, that's why he is not partial. Similarly, Prabhupada says, just like Krishna gives us the results of our action. Whatever activity we are doing, because this world, action and inaction. When we do action, activity, when we do karma, based on that we get result. So if you do, that's a Prabhupada writes here also, when a man does pious work, when a conditioned soul gives relief to others, he acts piously. And when he gives trouble to others, he acts impiously. So here this is the duality world. We can act piously or impiously. But actually, when it comes to Lord, He is full in spiritual potency. He will show equal mercy to all. So like that, Prabhupada goes on elaborating. Many examples Prabhupada gave, correct? He gives about the High Court judge also. So judge, he rewards somebody lakhs of rupees. Or somebody condemns to death. So we can't say, why judge is doing like this? No, he has created this act, his karma like that. He is just administering the law of the state. As you sow, so shall you reap. So, judge is impartial. He has to be impartial. So, that is because we are creating a situation like that. We should understand always this. So, Krishna, that's why he says in the 9.29, E bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, Prabhupada writes, anyone who is engaged in devotional service and Krishna consciousness remains with Lord. I am also with Lord. I am also with Him, Krishna says. So, when we render devotional service to Lord, we are with the Lord. Similarly, Lord is also with us because He recognizes that. He is actually waiting for us. That's why a pure devotee cannot be even a moment thinking anything other than the desire of the Lord. That is the surrender. Pure devotee, spiritual master, is 100% surrendered to Krishna. So whatever activity he does, it is actually for the pleasure of the Lord, for the satisfaction of the Lord. Whereas in our conditioned stage now, we do some devotional service. We are also looking for our own commission. We have our own happiness. We are looking for this is how it is. But if you take to this process, if you follow this process faithfully, ado shraddha, tata sadhu sangata bhajana kriya, all this process we follow, automatically, though we have all these defects, actually Krishna will become our master actually. Krishna is master always. Is always willing. But only thing we are turning away from Krishna. That's why in the Brahma Samhita it is said, Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Santaha, a devotee, is constantly 24 hours he is thinking of Krishna. Premanjana, his eyes entered with a salve of love. Prabhupada writes there, correct? So we have to come to that stage. Right now we are all with full of lust and we are looking for our own enjoyment, for our own pleasure, for our own satisfaction. But we read from the scriptures, we get to know what is this real enjoyment is all about. There is some flickering enjoyment, happiness here in this material world. But we are all looking for that eternal happiness. That you will get when we come in touch with the Lord. And in that situation, you will always think of Him. That is natural. For a pure devotee, he always thinks of Krishna, Krishna's mission, how to take forward his mission. That is his only thinking actually. That is his mission actually. So every moment we want to serve without expecting any remuneration or any return. That is pure devotion. Whereas in our stage, we do some service, we are also expecting some puja, pratishtha, labha and all. But the only way to get away from all these things, because Prabhupada wanted all of us to become a pure devotee. It's a big thing. It may take lifetime. But if you have faith, if you follow the process, we will achieve that actually. That's why in the Sishtashtaka also in the last verse it is mentioned, Ashlishlava padarantam pinashtumam adarshanam marma atham karotuva. There the translation is, I have no one but Krishna as my Lord. He shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. So whether Krishna tramples me or embraces me, a pure devotee, see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching all these things. He is my Lord unconditionally. Not that something is happening unfavorably, then no, I practiced so many years, it's not working, better I give it off. No, that is not, you have a motive when you are practicing this bhakti also. No, but it should be unconditional, ananya bhakti actually. About the gopis, it is mentioned, Krishna himself says, I can't repay your debt. Krishna says, because they are so absorbed. They were with their family member, they were with the children, they were with the husband. But when Krishna plays the flute, they all give up their activities. At the dead of the night also, they go, they want to associate with Krishna. So see the pure devotion there. So Krishna says, you should be satisfied with your own pious activities. I can't repay this back to you. He is the Supreme Lord. He is saying this because that is the power of devotion. Particularly Srimati Radharani excelled in devotion. So these things we get understanding from the scriptures actually. So for us, what we have to do, we have to engage in devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, the Navavida Bhakti. When we engage in this devotional service, slowly we'll get purified. So that's why daily we have to read, daily we have to hear, daily we have to associate, we have to follow on a daily basis. This is our practice which is given by Srila Prabhupada, this sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, when we practice, we are now in a diseased condition of life, we'll be purified from that disease. We'll come out of that contamination. So we have to engage pranay, arthai, diya, vacha. Bhagavatam also says. All of us have this life. This life should be meant for the service of the Lord. Maybe along with the other occupation, activity, whatever we are doing. We should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Arthai, if we have some opulence, we should use this opulence in the service of the Lord. Diya, all of us have some intelligence. We should use our intelligence to serve the Lord. Or we don't have nothing like to mention about. You can just tell whatever little we have learned, we have heard, we have read about this Krishna consciousness to others. Vachaha. So pranay, arthai, diya, vacha. These four things, if we are engaged, actually that is the real intelligence. That's why it is said only an intelligent person can render bhakti or devotional service. Correct? Krishna e bhaje se bada chatura. We have to be intelligent. A lot of people are materially intelligent. They miss out this point. Because all those intelligence, everything is given by God, given by Krishna. So we have to use in His service, not for our own gratification. Then you get more and more entangled in this material world only. So, when we try to render service to Krishna, Krishna will give us intelligence. How to render more and more service, how to be fixed up in this understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dadami buddhi yogam tam enama upayantete. So for that, tesham satajada yuktanam. See again that always 24 satatam. You have to always be engaged in one form of other devotional service. Tesham satata yuktanam. Bhajatam priti. We should render devotional service with love and devotion. Then Krishna will give that intelligence by which we can go back to Him. So that is the perfection of life, and we should all aim for that. So we have got a nice opportunity here. We have somehow come in touch with Srila Prabhupada's mission, and when we do this sadhana bhakti day after day, we will come to this stage. So we should have conviction and we should practice. Maybe some difficulties, trouble, some inconvenience may come when we are practicing also. But we should be very much fixed up. So it's all possible in the association of devotees, and we just have to follow. Nothing we have to invent or manufacture. Nothing is required. Everything is given by the acharyas. So we have to just follow and we'll get the desired result. These are some of the thoughts. I'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.